Thank you for tuning in again to the Sam and Tom Talkshow. This is potentially our last one for the semester. Here I've got obviously Tom with me, as usual.
Hey guys.
And we've just got a few topics that we want to cover today. We want to start with kind of, I guess, what we've done the last few weeks, and then basically what we're doing up until submission, because it's all go now. We've got the next week dedicated just to studio, so yeah.
We will be finalizing these talk shows. This will be the final one, so not potentially, because we need the time to prioritize the designs.
Yeah, I shouldn't leave you guys in. Anyway,
Long. Okay.
Good, very good.
Okay. So we'll be talking about the first point, I guess, prototyping. Do you want to head off?
Yeah.
Sam, with
All
that?
right. Prototyping is obviously our final outcome is going to be a prototype that you can interact with. So it's a pretty important part of our submission, and there's quite a few things to cover on it. I don't know where to begin. Maybe I'll just start with some of the tools we looked at using. So, like, initially we were looking at trying out Framer, because it released Framer X, and it seemed pretty promising. Like, it seemed like it could be a pretty cool tool to use, but found that it just doesn't do what we need. And we thought about using Atomic, because we used Atomic last semester, but it was extremely buggy when we used it, and so we kind of did some research, did some asking around to some people, and looks like we're going to be using Proto.io for our final prototype, because I mean, it's such a mature tool. It's been out there for ages, and it works pretty well. One thing that has come to light from prototyping is the phone size we have. So we were designing throughout the semester for my S9, because it's the phone that we can obviously see the prototypes on in real time. But like, I'm not going to have my phone given up for a week for submission. So we have gotten a loaner phone from Colab to use for the assessment. One of the really annoying things is its resolution is completely different to the S9, which means we need to rebuild all of our designs and our prototype to suit the new phone screen for submission, which is a bit of a hassle, having to go back and do that all again. Because I know, like, I would much rather us use this time to further iterate on our designs. But it's just something that happens that we've got to deal with. So, yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah. So apart from that, we're also working on our portfolios for the hand-in, so we can hand it alongside the prototype.
Yep.
The portfolio will include overview of the work we've done overall, and also the workshop sessions that we held, that we co-designed, me and Sam facilitated. So it'll all be in there alongside the conceptual and contextual write-up statements, if they need to be handed, because we don't know so far. They probably do.
No, I think.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I think this portfolio document will be a much higher level overview that we did compared to last semester, because last semester we did a really in-depth one because of creative workflows, and I think for the fact of submission, maybe we don't do one so in-depth and do more of the it's more of a client report type thing.
It's not like we're going to downgrade the quality. It's just
It's just going to be more concise and more relevant
to what is needed to be handed in.
Yeah, because we don't need to cover off every single tool we used per week like we did last time. So, I mean, that is really handy, because that also means we can put more time into really nailing the actual content within it and the outcome, because we don't have to include so much, hour by hour detail type thing.
Mm-hmm. And so that's it for the portfolios. I think the portfolios for us will be our framing document. It's going to be in the form of a booklet for us, which we're going to print out on the day and have on top of the desk next to the prototype. And we'll see if we can get a poster in there.
Yeah, poster's an interesting one because I don't think they're compulsory this semester for assessment. I of course for showcase we will want to have one because I mean it would look like a pretty tacky setup with no poster, I guess, especially because everyone else will probably have one. But like I don't think we need one for assessment, do we? So maybe we'll leave that one till after assessment to actually design that up and print it out. We'll do the classic and blow that up really big.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else?
Around designs, we've got like a majority of the main screens now designed up. And I mean, like I mentioned before, now it's the fact of actually going through and recreating them to suit the new phone screen size, which is a bit of tedious work. But I mean, hopefully, straight after this, we'll just get through that. Take a few hours, just get that done. So then we can focus the rest of our efforts onto throughout the rest of the week doing a bunch of guerrilla user testing, a bunch of iteration on top of that, and just really get it to the best outcome we can, prototype wise and design wise.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a lot of user research methods stacked up because the workshops helped us a lot in clearing everything up. So what we need to do now is just get to the designs, get to the making.
Now all we've got to do is make sure the designs make sense. We've validated the idea, people want it, we've got that all through the workshops, and now it's just we need to make sure the actual designs make sense or intuitive for the users to actually use, because we obviously we want to be like the number one platform that people come to for work at university, right? Or for AUT.
Yeah.
And so we want to make that process of actually using this, we want this to be a useful tool, not an annoying extra app that AUT have or something silly like that, because they do have a lot of apps already.
Yeah. So our designing and prototyping is at the moment kicking off, and we're balancing it as well with the write-up of the documents, so trying to get 50-50 in there. And we just came up with a vision statement as well as the problem statement and the team statement. So Sam, do you want to quickly read out the vision statement you wrote up?
Sure can, yeah. So the vision statement that we drafted up is basically we want to be the number one platform students enjoy using to succeed in their studies, assignments, and group tasks. So very, very ambitious goal, but we want to be a place where they know they can go to work, to find people to work with, and everything in between.
Exactly, straight on. Apart from that, that's pretty much it, because we're just focusing on getting this done, because there's 1 week left. We don't have time to spend on anything else, and this will be the last documentation for this paper.
Yeah. Oh, a small change to our workflow again. Worth bringing up as part of the reflection is source control. So we were using Plant, but Plant broke for some reason on us a couple weeks ago, and so we switched over to Abstract. But Plant's working again, so we're probably going to switch back to Plant to keep track of our documents in Sketch. One kind of irritating thing about working with between two different programs is if we change the design in Sketch, we have to go through and manually change it in Proto.io for some of the components because they don't auto-update, which is a little annoying. But yeah, another thing that we can just get through.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, I think those are the main things. Is there anything else that we might want to bring up as part of reflecting? Maybe it's worth just reflecting a bit about the whole semester so far, just going back over the last things we brought up in our talk show and just what we think.
All right, let's go back to workshop number 2.
Okay.
Right. So for workshop number 2, I'd have to say it was worth it, using all that money, investing all that money to get all the research.
I mean, of course, I'd rather that have not cost so much money, but the amount of insights and knowledge we got out of it was just outstanding.
Yeah. If we look back to our project we did last year, Arian.
Last semester. Yeah,
Last semester we did Arian. if you
Yep.
look back at
It's
that,
Orion, actually. Sorry.
okay, Orion,
Arian.
okay.
Yep. Cool.
We spent so much time, basically the whole semester, trying to get user research individually, one by one.
And
Each
trying to get
user
our head
research
around it.
method. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so by doing the workshops, we were able to like collate all those user research methods into one session.
Yeah.
And
I mean, what took us last semester? What took us like, for the sake of apples to apples comparison, like a task which would have taken us 6 hours last semester took us an hour. Probably long. It's hard to put a time on it actually, but like, something that would take us an extended amount of time last semester, we've been able to condense down to an hour and get more than we could bargain for of rich insights.
Yep.
Bless up.
What else? So I guess that covers workshops and one.
Yeah, both workshops were extremely useful, and like it did just weeks worth of work condensed down into an hour's session, and then just synthesizing that, and also getting a bunch of different minds on board, so it wasn't just us creating the ideas and designs, but everyone got to contribute.
Yep. Just to clarify, the workshops were a huge part of the project itself, and because we prioritized the user research ahead of the designs, because the designs need to be backed up by users and by research. And so I'd say probably 60% of it was, or more, I don't know.
So probably just above 60% was user research, getting to the root of the problem. What is the actual problem we have here to solve? Because we had a general idea of some of the issues that students go through, but a lot of it was also like we had a lot of personal biases in here, and a lot of it was like information that we've heard through AUT. It was really good to actually get a bunch of students from different places to come together and see where there is an overlap of problems and issues that they encounter and different pain points.
Yeah, and it did take Sam time to like write up these workshop plans and to like clarify what needed to be talked about and discovered. So it was a huge part, and I just don't want to say it was easy and it was quick, because it did require some planning.
It did require a lot of prior planning, yes, that's true.
Yeah. And apart from workshops, what else can we talk about? I mean, starting off, formation was rather quick.
Yeah, it was.
If we look back, we had 5 different projects we wanted to potentially work on. We cancelled them one by one and realized that this one would be the most. For the 2 words brief, which was our 2 words originally was, and still is, connecting students.
Yep.
And this is how it all began, through trying to make a platform, because we saw that there was a lack of connection between students. We saw that, and we decided to do this. And
there's a large opportunity with this idea compared to the other ones. There's a large opportunity for this to expand out, and also the learnings that we can gain from something like this is exceptional. One thing maybe to bring up as well is App Lab. So remember how we spoke to App Lab, what was it, like 5 weeks ago or something now?
Yeah.
Maybe, like, what are our thoughts around App Lab, what they had to contribute, like what we've actually done together so far, which is nothing.
App Lab, I'd say, apart from the first meeting we had with them, I mean, they did help us a little bit clarify our next steps.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I don't know what we were planning to do with them. I don't know if there was anything planned with them.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how we could have worked with them throughout the semester.
And they didn't seem overly motivated to work with us.
I think App Lab, like, it was good to introduce us to them early, but I think they're more interested in once we've fleshed out the idea, put up the designs, and done all of that. So basically, once we've submitted, I think that's when they'd become interested.
I guess we'll see on the day of the showcase if they come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're planning on inviting them. Hopefully that works out. Yeah. Anything else apart from that?
No, not really. I just overall like all the insights we've gained have been great, and now we just need to finish it and put it together in a document that we can then give to people, so that we don't have to explain it every time to people what we're doing, so in a nice way for people to understand what our idea is, and to actually get some hands-on experience with it.
Yep. All right, sweet then. I mean, this was this week's and the last week talk show from 7 Tom.
This is the final sign-off. Thank you very much for following us through this semester journey. If you listen to just this one, I hope you have a very small idea of just some of the stuff we've gone through. Obviously, through the talk show, we haven't really covered in great detail the nitty-gritty of what we've been doing. It's just been a very high-level overview, just so we can remember what we've done throughout the semester. But yeah, hopefully having a great day. Hopefully you have a great year, because you deserve it. And thank you very much for listening. And don't forget to link up later on.
Yeah, well, we don't know if they deserve it. We can't assume they deserve a good year. Maybe they're like terrible people. Anyway, yeah, bye-bye. That was good. Okay, we got